It never happened. Radio Raheem here with Dr. Abel Sanchez. I will never call you anything but that. You're a doctor now officially. You've been christened by Michael Buffer.
And once you hear the story of why it's a doctor, you'll laugh even more.
Well,
we'll talk about it later.
You tell us the story.
No, I can't tell you the story.
All right. Look, this guy I just talked to, who's going to face your guy, who I just talked to, has the same calm, the same kind of steely resolve that he is going to be successful Saturday night. Now, for my sake, I could say that every guy I talked to that was going to face Triple G before, there was some doubt there that I sensed in the interview. Something that they weren't sure about, a little bit of, they were putting on confidence but weren't really confident. I didn't feel it. I feel it with this guy. Do you feel it with this guy, and does that change how you approach a fight at all?
Of course, this guy is probably the most skilled mentally. I think he's got a great boxing IQ. He's got a great corner, but I think the reason he's that way is because he's faced a tougher opponent than Gennady. He's faced death, man. They told him he was going to die. So I think because of that, there's no fear in him. What another man's is not gonna do nothing to me. Gennady may beat him, but he's not gonna beat his spirit. He's not gonna beat his ego or his confidence because, like I said, he's faced death. So we're very, very aware of the resolve that he has in his intentions in this fight. But he still has to face Gennady Golovkin on March 18th.
He's brought in another trainer in addition to his longtime trainer in Virgil Hunter. You guys have had your round and rounds about things in the past, but I know you respect him as a trainer. Do you feel like that is an asset to his camp, and does it give him some tools that you would otherwise not have to face?
We've had our rounds like you said, but he is a marvelous, not only coach but a boxing mind. Virgil is proven that he's a very talented coach. I think that the plus that he's going to get from Virgil is that calmness and that experience, because Virgil's been there with so many great fighters and so many great fights. So because of that, if they had any kind of talks, that will be the advantage that they will give to Danny. But he's got Andre too. Andre's been with him since the beginning. So I'm going up against two great minds. So, but you know what? At the end of the day, they're both going to get in the ring, Gennady and Daniel, and hopefully they can do the things that we as coaches have projected for them or had planned for them. If they can, the guy that can do it better is going to be victorious, because they're both great big punchers. They both had great experiences as amateurs, and they're both great men. But the guy that executes better the plan that Virgil and Andre and I have put together is going to be the guy that wins.
Well, if you are successful Saturday night, you'll be earning that trophy for Trainer of the Year, which you are. You've got that title. Triple G has continued to amass a bigger and bigger fan base. Like I said to him, I noticed that I don't want to call it an entourage, but his team is expanding as the fights go on. Is there something in him that recognizes how big he's getting, not just like outside of his family now and just winning for the Golovkins, but he's starting to carry a country on his back? He's talking about fighting in Kazakhstan next.
Yeah, well, actually, the team really hasn't grown. Those are that's his nephew that's with us, and that's his brother that's with us. But the only thing that has grown is the security around him, because we want to make sure that we get to the fight. A lot of times the fans are so fervent that they're grabbing at him and they're pulling him, and if we get a pulled shoulder, a hurt finger, a hurt foot, whatever, then the fight doesn't happen. So our team is still the same. It hasn't grown. Maybe the publicity part of it with Tom and those guys has, but as our basic boxing team has not grown. But he understands not only the pressure, but the position that he's put in, that he's put himself in, having Kazakhstan on his back and having really the boxing world on his back, because he's the face. He's one of the main faces of boxing right now. Completely different than Andre Ward, completely different than Floyd, completely different than Canelo and Julio. But he's still one of the 5 or 6 faces in boxing that are putting butts in the seats. And if he does that and continues to do that, then maybe one day he'll be the face of boxing.
You know, this isn't your first world champion. This is certainly not your first barbecue, as they say. You've been here before in a way. You now, though, Trainer of the Year. You've got this established, the summit up in Big Bear. They're doing 24/7s on you. How is this experience different from the other champions you've had, the other experiences you've had being in the spotlight with a fighter, and is this the best?
You know, they're all the same. But I think the most important part, I think, for me as a coach, and I think it's maybe for Virgil and for Andre, is a competition between each other. It's between the competition between me and Virgil, between the competition, and not so much against each other, but just the fact that how we're perceived as good coaches or bad coaches, between Freddie, between Robert, between all those coaches that are out there struggling, trying to get that fighter like I have right now, and Robert had it one time, and Freddie had it one time, and still has. Virgil still has Andre. So it's that competition of trying to be better than our peers. Lucky for us, there's trophies that they give us, but most important is being able to say, hey, I beat that guy, you know. And at least that's the way I feel, and I imagine they have that same, in a way, the same thoughts. To be recognized by your peers is much, much more important. To be recognized by people that really have never laced the glove on or trained a fighter in the gym. To be recognized by Virgil or by Andre or by Robert and by Freddie, I think those are more important things to me than a trophy. I appreciate the trophy. I'm humbled by them, but again, to be recognized by your peers is far more important.
Better than being recognized by us, these press guys.
You guys are important. I mean, you make this happen. You make it popular. You make it available to us to put our voices out. But I thank you for that, and I thank you for the awards, but I want to beat all those guys.
And as a trainer, a guy who's had as much experience in the game, you know that a fighter like Triple G, who's famously not going 12 rounds for all of his fights, if Jacobs is able to make this fight go long, if he can stand up to that shot that no one's been able to stand up to really since Triple G's gained prominence, and it's getting to the 10th and 11th round, and he's seeing rounds that he hasn't seen in a very long time, what is it, there one thing that motivates him, one thing that you could whisper in his ear that gets him over that hump that he's really never had to get over in a championship fight before?
Well, I hope I don't have to motivate him like that. I think he's going to be self-motivated, but we train for 12. We train for the full distance, and I think all coaches that have fighters at this level train for 12. If it happens to go 12, he's going to have enough gas to do the 12. I think that when you have to motivate a fighter is when they're dog-tired, when they're at the point where they've never been before. He's been before in the gym. He's been 11 with Murray, and he was strong at 11. So I don't think I'll have to do much motivating. What I will have to do is make sure and remind him of where we're at in a fight. But if it does go 12, that says a lot more for Jacobs than it says for Golovkin. Golovkin, we know, is a knockout artist. He's had 23 knockouts in a row. But for Jacobs to go 12 with Gennady Golovkin, I think that says a lot about Danny Jacobs.
Radio Raheem with Trainer of the Year, Dr. Abel Sanchez. It's a pleasure to see you work. We'll watch you one more time on March 18th at Madison Square Garden in that corner. Can't wait to see it, man. Radio Raheem with Dr. Abel Sanchez.